In his first inaugural address, President Nixon spoke the words that would describe his vision and would provide his epitaph.
The greatest honor history can bestow is the title of Peacemaker.
The Architect of Peace Award was established by the Richard Nixon Foundation in the year after his death to honor the rare individuals who embody President Nixon's goals and advance his legacy as peacemaker. Tonight, 2 more names are added to this distinguished roster as the Architect of Peace Award is presented to Robert C. O'Brien and Michael R. Pompeo. The Trump administration made the return of American hostages a high priority. Robert O'Brien was named Special Envoy for Hostage Affairs and sworn in by his friend Mike Pompeo, who was then CIA Director. As Special Envoy for Hostage Affairs, Ambassador O'Brien has been called the greatest hostage negotiator in history. He and Secretary Pompeo played pivotal roles in the safe return of more than 50 American hostages held in 22 countries. 3 hostages released from North Korea were welcomed at Joint Base Andrews by the President, the First Lady, and the Secretary of State.
There's been no president in my lifetime that has been as committed or as successful to bringing Americans home, unjustly detained Americans home, without paying concessions than President Trump. It's been extraordinary. You pointed out a couple of examples: North Korea, certainly Venezuela. Pastor Brunson was a great day for all of us as Americans to see him come home and to see him and his family in the Oval Office with the President.
In July 2020, the presidents of Serbia and Kosovo came to the White House to sign U.S.-brokered agreements normalizing economic ties between 2 erstwhile antagonists. With these Washington Accords, Serbia would move its Israel embassy to Jerusalem, and Muslim Kosovo would recognize the State of Israel. At the signing ceremony, Serbian President Vučić asked to speak.
I'm really honored and privileged to be here and representing Serbia here in Oval Office, and thank you, Mr. President, for doing a great job. When I say great job, I really mean it, because your people and you wanted to engage yourself into a matter that, as a matter of fact, very few people wanted to do, and also your commitment to stabilize the region and to bring peace and stability into the region is something that we appreciate a lot. It's something of enormous significance for us.
In September 2020, the administration announced the Abraham Accords, a series of treaties that electrified the world and transformed the region. There hadn't been anything so transformative since President Nixon visited Cairo in 1974, and then became the first president ever to visit Saudi Arabia, Israel, Syria, and Jordan. The signing ceremony was held on the south lawn of the White House. The Abraham Accords were 5 groundbreaking treaties normalizing diplomatic relations between Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. The South Lawn signings were only the beginning. With the Washington Accords and the Abraham Accords, more Mideast peace deals were signed in 2020 than in the preceding 7 decades.
This is the greatest step forward for peace in the Middle East in a generation. We flipped the switch. We took 40 years of history where people said, you can't get peace in the Middle East until you resolve the conflict between Israel and the Palestinian people. We said you could do this a different way. On one side of the equation, you have the United States, Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain. Countries that know the basic idea that normalized relations in the Middle East actually help people live in peace and in security.
One immediate result was the beginning of commercial flights between Israel and these Arab nations. Working separately and in tandem, as colleagues and as friends, Secretary of State Pompeo and National Security Advisor O'Brien made their marks on history. They saved lives, reunited families, and worked tirelessly to bring the prospect of peace where there had been no peace before. President Nixon said, "It is not enough just to be for peace. The point is, what can we do about it?" In his book, Real Peace, he wrote that in this imperfect world, peace will always be a work in progress, requiring constant attention and commitment. We must do the hard work to develop the strategies and build and maintain the alliances that can make peace possible. Robert O'Brien and Mike Pompeo are doers. They are builders. They are architects of peace.